Yeah. Good morning, beautiful people. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Yuma Center for Spiritual Living. Welcome home. How does that sound?
Great.
That's how I always envision this place. Well, I envision also like a fun kind of club we all belong to. But how about home?
Yes.
Where you get to be and to kick your shoes off, let your hair down, and best of all, and this is spiritual, you get to be who you are. Put down all the false pretenses, set down the masks, and to be who we really are. And I know that my favorite time is Sundays here. My favorite people to be with are you, and the time right now. Because I love that on the spiritual path, what we're doing is we're always releasing who we're not, is stepping into a new beginning of who we really are. Always right here, always now, stepping forward, knowing the power that a new choice can bring about a new experience. So we're going to practice that in a really wonderful way today. Before we go to lunch, we have a second Sunday lunch, we're going to enjoy something just as sweet, just as savory and deep in meaning. It's our annual apples and honey ceremony with our Jewish friends. As many of you know, we share our building with the local Jewish community, Congregation Beth Hamidbar, and they recently celebrated Rosh Hashanah, the new year. Well, we're a little bit late, but that's okay because a new beginning can happen at any time. And apples and honey is, as we'll hear in a second, is an affirmation of the sweet new year ahead. So this is our third year of doing this, and I'm excited every time I get to welcome up my friend and our friend, dear Leon Negan, board president of our Jewish community.
I hope you can hear me. It's not on. I am really pleased to be here this morning. This is, I'm both surprised, amazed, and very happy with the reception. This is a wonderful time in the Jewish calendar. We are in the middle of a holiday called Sukkot, which is a holiday that everyone is supposed to be joyous during this holiday. So, and I feel, I have the feeling here. We have someone who has prepared little pieces of apple and honey, and I think they can be distributed to people, and I will need one too.
What we'll do is we'll bring them forward so that Leon can bless them. She has the traditional blessing.
Bless them?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Bless them. Okay.
I think you did that last year, maybe something in Hebrew.
Yes.
Blessing?
Well, we will say a blessing over the apples and honey.
Perfect.
Right. Okay.
And then when we're ready, we'll have you come up and get your little cup with your apple and honey, but then don't eat it right away. Take it back to your seat and we'll have a wonderful affirmation. Then we'll dig in.
Okay, great. Great. Thank you. Thank you. That there. Okay. Jews have been practicing this custom. It's a custom. There's no religious reason for doing this. Well, there's a meaning to the ceremony, but it's a customary ceremony, mostly practiced by Jews of European descent. And it's been the custom for years, actually centuries. I just read that one of the earliest references in print to it comes from the 13th century when people did this. Honey was the sweetener that was available to most Jews, whether it was made from dates or figs or from bees. Honey from bees, as we're used to. And apples, at least for the Jews in Europe, were a special fruit. It was so special that people used to carve their wishes and their prayers into the skins of apples and save them. And it was said in this book of Jewish mysticism that was published in the 13th century that apples, like beauty, were diffused, helped to diffuse beauty and God through the universe. And I thought that was particularly lovely. We have the custom is always explained to us as children that this is our way of hoping for that everyone will have a sweet new year. So we do this right at the beginning of Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year. And I'm going to go ahead and say the blessing. I know the Hebrew by heart, but I had to bring a cheat sheet so that I could translate it for you into English. So let me say the blessing, and then if you will come up and get your apple and honey, and I will eat it. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech ha'olam, borei pri ha'etz. And that means, I don't know why I'm having nervous, it means we praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe, creator of the fruit of the tree. That's ha'etz. So I have said the blessing, and now everybody can come and get some.
If you want to take it back to your seat and hold it for a second, because we'll have a wonderful affirmation we'll say before we partake of our sweetness.
Here. Here's yours. Thank you. Here you go.
Thank you, Yuma.
She was saying the prayer.
No, she wasn't. Well, we can thank you. I told her next year she needs to do it.
Yes, I think that's a very good idea. We need to be here to support him.
Everybody have their apples and honey. Let's raise them up as if we're making a cheer, but let's go to our next screen. We have a beautiful affirmation.
We'll get it.
Our clicker is getting his apples and honey.
Clicker's busy.
Here we go. Let's say it together. I joyfully step into a new beginning, one as fresh as this apple and as sweet as this honey. My past is released, and a sweet year ahead manifests in all aspects of my mind, body, and daily life. I claim this for myself and for all people, and so it is. Mazel tov! Thank you. There's a wonderful affirmation. The sweetness of life. Thank you so much to our friend Leon. And what a wonderful way for us to celebrate our long-standing, probably 50-some-year relationship with the Jewish congregation. It's been a long time. And Happy New Year. And let's continue our service by welcoming up our first song. Thank you.
Joy in my heart. Please, if you're comfortable, stand up, sing along. This is perfect. Get Leonard on drums. I've got joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Where? Down in my heart. Where? Down in my heart. I've got joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Where? Down in my heart to say. And I'm so happy, so very happy. I've got joy in my heart. And I'm so happy, so very happy. in my heart. I've got peace, 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 peace. Down in my heart. Where? Down in my heart to stay. And I'm so happy, so very happy. I've got peace in my heart. And I'm so happy, so very happy. I've got peace in my heart. I've got love, 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 love down in my heart. Where? Down in my heart. Where? Down in my heart. I've got love, 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 love down in my heart. Where? Down in my heart to stay. And I'm so happy, so very happy. I've got love in my heart. And I'm so happy, so very happy. I've got love in my heart. I've got love in my heart.
And how delightful to start off our new year with a reading by Dr. Ernest Holmes. This comes from one of our favorite books, this thing called You. And as you hear it read, Holmes is writing as God. So Holmes isn't saying he created us, he's writing in the voice of God. And to share this, I welcome to the pulpit, Miss Judy. Take it away.
So Reverend Darin shared with me that this was a reading in Palm Springs last Sunday when he was the guest speaker there. It's pretty special. The universe is one vast system. All the laws of nature conspire to benefit mankind, but these same laws automatically protect the integrity of nature. It's as though nature said, "All right, little man, the game is yours. Play it as you see fit. I'm going to serve you, but don't fool yourself. I'm going to reflect right back to you with exactness what you really are. If you don't like what's happening, I'm not going to be disturbed. You are the arbiter of your fate. You are the captain of your soul. I have given you all. I have implanted freedom, individuality, and self-choice within you. Finally, through experience, you will learn the better and wiser way. You are set on the path of self-determination. Your fantastic will may lead you up many blind alleys, but I have also placed within you a compass and a chart. There is a course you may pursue which leads to happiness, wholeness, to peace of mind and joy. Someday you will follow this path because I have placed a spirit within you which is ever seeking to guide. Through all the rounds of experience, I am there. Someday, when you sit down by the roadside, weary with struggle, you will listen deeply and you will hear a voice saying, "This is the path, follow it." And I shall be waiting. The time of your return is your own decision. It may be now or at any time in the vast forever which stretches before you. The freedom designed for man is marvelous beyond human perception. Life has given man an intuitive sense of things. It has permitted him to evolve through countless ages of trial and error to the day of his redemption, always knowing that this redemption is certain. But the timing rests in man's present or delayed acceptance. It could be today or tomorrow. It could have been yesterday. We are living in universal now, and this now waits our acceptance.
morning.
Good morning.
Could I have my candle lighters, please? We perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that people of all faiths and lifestyles, all sentient beings, come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light a candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light a candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light a candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light a candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light a candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light a candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light a candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light a candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light a candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. As Vernell lights the healing candle, please say silently, out loud, or put in Facebook comments the names of those you would like to hold in the healing flame of God's eternal love. As we breathe in deeply, we remember that God is all there is. The universal spirit creates all, sustains all, and is all-knowing, and is all-loving. It is the power back of creation. All things past, present, and future belong to and are a result of God. Knowing that God creates all and creates from itself, we remember that we too are included in this creation. We are beloved children of God, and we too embody the God qualities of goodness, wholeness, love, power, and wisdom. Therefore, we know that we co-create with God. We recognize that our words, our beliefs, and our perceptions shape our human experiences in unity with God. God surrounds us, flows through us, works for us, and works through us. Through the creative process, we affirm and know the physical universe that we want to experience, and God makes it happen. God is the ultimate teammate. Through co-creation with God, we know that all things are possible, and our highest and best experiences are here and now. What a relief and joy it is to know that we co-create with the all-powerful God. We are so grateful to know that our highest and best expressions appear in our lives with ease and confidence. Feeling and knowing that it is done, we release this prayer to God and allow God to bring this prayer into form. And so it is.
So it is.
Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. I can feel it in my body, I can feel it in my soul, I can feel it in my heart, and it won't let go. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Something wonderful.
Absolutely something wonderful in this room today. It is my pleasure to introduce our speaker on this fine day. He is our teacher, he is our friend, and he shares a lot of love with us. And that would be our own Reverend Darin Fenger.
I missed you all last week. I felt like I was cheating on us. I was sitting up there in Palm Springs getting ready for the service, and they were a half hour ahead. So I was like, oh, they're in the sanctuary. Oh, the meditation just got done. So you were in my heart. What a great service. Thank you to everyone who was here last week. And thank you for everyone here today. What a sweet beginning of a whole new life. We're newborns, stepping forward into a sweet new chapter. And I love that. Isn't this pretty? Those colors up there. So as I like to be in a lot of my talks, take a journey with me in a memory I have. It's so beautiful. About this time of year, 15 years ago, I was in Guadalajara, Mexico, in an old hospital, like from the Spanish Revolutionary times. An old kind of, looked like something you kind of maybe see out of X-Files. Remember that show? Yeah. Well, now it was turned into a cultural center. So I was there for this special event. Now picture it, there's this hallway lined with beautiful orange flowers and candles. And there were a lot of things to see, because each side of this hallway was a door that would have gone into an old patient room back in the day when it was a hospital. But catching my eye was down at the end of this hallway, two large Grim Reapers standing outside of that doorway, complete with the hoods and the black robes and the scythes. So I'm like, okay, I think that's where I need to go look. And so I stepped between them, look into what would have been an old patient room, and that was a hospital. And it was absolutely aglow with light, candles, and color. Inside was this colorful celebration of pictures, of personal mementos, favorite foods, flowers, sugar skulls, all of these wonderful elements celebrating the life of a young girl. But what made it very moving was they weren't just celebrating her life, they were remembering her life in memorial. She had died just a few days before that. What was in that room, what had been created for her, was an altar observing this most beautiful day in Mexico, Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead. This was an opportunity to meet the life of this young girl, to know her, and to remember that her life continues forever. How beautiful is that? And what's nice is getting to look past what you think things are. Those Grim Reapers, who were they? They were her friends. As you get to talk to them, as we did, they all had been friends in a high school music group. Those two guys, those two young men standing sentry outside that door were honored to be there to hold a witness for the celebration of their young friend, of this young girl for whom this altar was created. But it gets even deeper. They had originally started creating that altar for somebody else. And that young girl had been a part of that team, creating it for someone else. And then she died just a few days before, and her friends thought, here is where we need to go. She is the one who we should celebrate and honor with this altar for Day of the Dead. And I just think that's beautiful, that it's a celebration of this young life. It was so colorful that when you were in there, you really felt like you got to know her. And that's the power of Day of the Dead. I think the first time some of us hear that, we're like, ooh, that's kind of a harsh-sounding word. But it's not. It's every November 1st to the 2nd in Mexico and anywhere where we are blessed by people who are from that place in the world. families, believers create these beautiful altars called ofrendas, not just as a tribute to people who have passed, but as a welcome to them, as a welcome to those departed souls to come back one day a year to make a visit. And these beautiful altars aren't just tributes, they contain within them everything that spirit traveler would need for the voyage home and for that visit home. To me, when I picture that, it's one time a year, all these people coming back, it's almost like a much anticipated spiritual migration, isn't it? How beautiful to think of everyone you've been missing, everyone that you have felt kind of taken away from, returning home once a year to be with us. Have you guys seen the movie Coco?
Oh, yes.
Isn't that beautiful? It's a Disney film, and if you haven't seen it, I really encourage that. What a wonderful way for us to find out and to learn about Day of the Dead and the warmth of it, the family of it. I mean, just a normal, beautiful religious tradition, a family tradition of welcoming those spirits back home to be together again. And if you haven't seen it, I really encourage that. Because for a lot of people who didn't grow up with Hispanic culture, that was really an introduction to Day of the Dead, something that they hadn't experienced that before. And I love it because Day of the Dead turns our long-standing kind of fear and discomfort with dead right on its head. Day of the Dead is an invitation for us to have a different look at, a different feel for, a different relationship with life and death. And it fits perfectly with our Science of Mind teaching because Day of the Dead invites us to see life and death as a continuation of the same thing. That people may lose, may step away from, may set down their spiritual form, but that they continue with us, that there is no separation. So I love how Day of the Dead becomes this beautiful generational experience for people who practice it, where you have a generation of those who remember and those who are remembered, and eventually how those who remember are remembered themselves, and it keeps going generation after generation, everyone being tied together by this beautiful tradition of everlasting life, of that beautiful connection that stands between all of us who've met, all of us who've loved each other, that it brings us back together. So did any of you grow up with Day of the Dead as a tradition in your family? I see a couple hands. I wonder if that's something that more of us could bring into our practice. A time of actually stopping to say hello, to remember our connection with those who've departed, who've gone on to their next adventure, who we miss and who we love. Now I'm going to ask this question too. You don't have to answer out loud. Does Day of the Dead seem spooky, or cold, or dark? Lots of heads nodding. Or does it feel beautiful and comfortable? I think for me, I think for a lot of us, the first time you hear Day of the Dead, it's like, hey, that's weird, that's kind of unusual, that's novel. But then you take it to a deeper place, and there's that beautiful message that why is there all the color? Why are all the skulls grinning? Because it's joyous. It is eternal life. It's not just some cute holiday, it's not just some poetic message, it's a beautiful theme for us all to remember. Look at the comfort that this message can bring all of us. Look at the spiritual reminder that it can bring all of us. So I wanted today to share the talk, Day of the Dead, a celebration of life. Because isn't that what we're here to do? So my goal is to remind us how this is what Science of Mind teaches, the eternality of life, our connection that does not stop, and our invitation to feel the feelings, not bury them, not deny them, to feel how we are, and to know our connection to our loved ones who've gone on to that next place, and to maybe normalize talking about death. Are we comfortable talking about death? Or do we maybe put it in a box and put it in a certain place? For us to be comfortable with that, that's our goal today. And a lot of this, could be, all of these topics could be their own topic, their own sermon. We'll do those some other times. Today is just a chance to maybe introduce us to a new idea, some new concepts, some ideas to bring into our spiritual practice, and to start the conversation within us, and maybe conversation with the spirits with us. You know, it's funny that before I became a minister, as a lot of you know, I used to work at the Yuma Sun. And if you know me well, you know my decorating tastes are colorful, a little bit eclectic, and maybe we'd have a new reporter or somebody or a new advertising rep come from another part of the country. They'd be looking at my look at all the decorations, and all of a sudden they'd say, "Oh God!" I'm like, "Oop, they discovered my little skeletons. I had these little dancing skeletons. They were so cute, little plastic dolls." And people, you know, I would forget that that's very strange to people who aren't from the Southwest or from Mexico. And they'd say, "Oh my God, what are these?" They say, "Oh, they're my little Day of the Dead skeletons." And they say, "Well, why are they wearing dresses?" And I'm like, "Because there's a party." They have earrings, they have makeup on. I just love that it was not disrespectful. Sometimes people think, is that making a mockery of life and death? No, it's celebrating life. It's joyous, and indeed, I think even more respectful of life, because there's the joy in it, the happiness in that, and I always just thought that was beautiful. So again, it aligns with our teaching in Science of Mind that we are all connected through oneness. It's a spiritual principle that we're connected to our spirit, God, universe, all of us together, and that life continues going on and on and on. Dr. Ernest Holmes, our founder, said, "As in birth, the invisible becomes visible, so in dying, the visible again becomes invisible. Life continues on another plane when the body has outlived its usefulness." I love how Day of the Dead blurs the line between life and death, alive and dead. And what comes to mind when I share that is I have a Hispanic friend, who we were chit-chatting, and come to find out we were both in the same cemetery in San Luis, Mexico on the same night. And she said to me, "Oh my God, I could have introduced you to my parents." And I said, "Oh wow, that would have been great." You know, and that's very sweet, and she was so excited, and I love her, and I can only imagine how kind and loving her parents would have been. But as you can probably guess, her parents are dead. Her parents were buried there. And I loved the absolute wisdom there, that her parents were there. I could be introduced to them, and that she wanted to share that. That there wasn't that big distinction between being alive and being dead, being here and being now. I love that. It's almost like a casual thing for us to remember. And so last night, I must have been working on this talk in my sleep, because I woke up, I have written here, wake up, I woke up, and I realized the problem, it's a case of mistaken identity. I think that's what humanity has done so far up till now, especially with a lot of our traditional religions, a case of mistaken identity. Day of the Dead reminds us that we aren't humans waiting to become spirit. We are spirits now in human form, having this human experience. But sometimes I think the old ways tell us you're living kind of a meat and potatoes, meat and bones life now, but one day you shall be spiritual on the other side. One day you will be able to be with God. One day you'll get to have your angel wings. And Science of Mind reminds us, as Day of the Dead does, we are beautiful spiritual beings right here and right now. We get to be free of that duality, kind of the human and spiritual, us and them, here and now. And Day of the Dead and Science of Mind also agree that heaven and hell and earth, it's all really one place. It's all of our experience. That our beloveds aren't in some far off place after they have passed on. I always say, I always kind of work into whenever I officiate a memorial or a funeral, that so-and-so is no longer here, they're everywhere. Isn't that comforting? When I was a chaplain at the prison, so many of those men would suffer horrendously, knowing that they were missing, they weren't able to be at their mother's funeral. They'd say, "Chaplain, she's so far away, I cannot be there with her." And I got to remind them what we know in Science of Mind, and what Day of the Dead knows, that she, being that mother, free of her human form, could be with him more than she could have the week before. That she could be everywhere and with him. It's that beautiful connection. So there's no duality, that we are the same here as there, that we're all connected, and it's a beautiful lesson. Because unless we know this, what happens? We miss out on the livingness of life now. We miss out on our beloveds, we miss out on the big picture. There's a lot of beauty in the big picture of the cosmos of life. And if we don't know of that connection with our departed dead, we don't look for it, do we? And what we don't look for, we don't find. And again, that we think that we have to wait to be sacred when that is not the truth. So how about we become more comfortable talking about death as we do life? That it is a celebration of that. Isn't it too bad when we don't want to talk about something, then we don't want to plan about something. We don't get to share how we feel now so that our beloveds know how we feel when we depart, or we know their wishes for when they've departed. There's a wonderful young, now you're going to know what I look at on YouTube when I'm not doing my spiritual stuff. There's a young goth female mortician named Caitlin Doty in Petronella. If she's watching, okay, there's people who know her. I love her for many reasons, and one of her really big missions in life is to normalize talking about death. And when she starts her videos, and it's kind of jarring the first time she pops up very alive and goes, "Good morning, deathlings!" And you're like, "Deathling? Who is the viewing audience of this?" But she encourages us to talk about that which we will all experience. There are times I'll be counseling with people and they'll say, "Darin, that my beloved is going to die." I tell them, "Yes, they are." And then people get shocked. Like I'm telling them some news that I quickly follow up with, "And so are you, and so am I." Caitlin is cute. She has this joke that she would let us kind of keep our death, she calls them death deniers. She wouldn't argue with death deniers if death didn't have 100% batting average. It's true. Until we can think of somebody who has gotten away from that, then I think we could talk about something else. And I love how in the Mexican tradition there is the 3 deaths theory. Have you heard about that? That we experience 3 deaths. The moment we die, the moment we're buried, and the last time someone thinks of us. We want so much to keep our beloveds alive, to have them with us. And what a beautiful chance to do that by remembering them, celebrating them, thinking of them, talking with them. And Day of the Dead, again, is a great reminder. Because it's not spooky, it's beautiful. And it's not Mexican Halloween. People think that's true too. No, it is not. It is something really much more deep than that. Can we go to the second photo? Isn't that beautiful? Is an example of a Day of the Dead ofrenda. And they're different. There's not all kinds of rules that they have to follow, but there are beautiful symbols. The orange flower that looks like a marigold, the Sampasoche, the flower of the dead. A beautiful symbol, and its job is for its beautiful color and scent to draw the dead back home, back to the altar. You see butterflies a lot of times. I don't think there's butterflies in this one. Butterflies being that symbol of transformation, continued life after tremendous physical transformation. And what's wonderful is, I said that it feels like a spiritual migration. Every year around this time, in certain parts of Mexico, is the beautiful migration of the monarchs around the same time as the spirits coming home. That's beautiful. And the sugar skulls, again, that happy, joyous little skull, and its symbol is to remind us that death is not the winner, that life is, that there's nothing to be upset about or dark about, that life is eternal and it lasts forever. And often found on the altar are, and I love this how practical it is. What do you give somebody when you're on the nightstand when you have a guest come, when grandma comes to visit or your aunt comes to visit? There's a comb to look good. There's water to cleanse themselves after the long journey. There's food to nourish them, and also I think food to call them in. I've often thought, may my beloveds have big plates of enchiladas. If they want to have this, come on make it good. You know, no menudo, maybe some pozole. But I love that. And then we think that all of this is for the departed, but also the symbols that are there in traditional ofrendas that are symbols to us. Often there's a handful of soil there to remind us of where we go, where our bodies go. There's often, again, skeletons dancing, beautifully dressed, as a reminder that even the fanciest, richest, most beautifully decked out person too will die, that is all a part of our life. But the most beautiful part of all of this is the family, the community, the music, the celebration. And author Ray Bradbury lived in Mexico, and he gives a wonderful description as an American of what he experienced. And I want to share that. He says, up in Illinois, we've forgotten what it's all about. I mean, the dead up in our town tonight, heck, they're forgotten. No one goes to see and sit and talk with them. Boy, that's lonely. That's really sad. But he says, but here in Mexico, it's both happy and sad. It's all fireworks and skeleton toys down there in the plaza. And up in that graveyard now, all the Mexican dead folks are with their families, visiting, and flowers and candles and singing and candy. He said, I mean, it's almost like Thanksgiving. And everyone sat down to dinner, but only half of the people are able to eat. But that's no mind, because they are there. I love that. Do you and your families have any traditions for celebrating your departed? Is there anything that you would want to bring into your own practice, your own life, to experience that? To practice, maybe not just Day of the Dead, but something that would work for you, for those memories, to be a reminder of that connection. And I always believe anything that brings us comfort, as long as it's not unhealthy, why not bring that into our experience? Anything that can help us in our pain. Because what we know is true, but is losing someone easy? No, it's not. That's a huge change, to have someone that we spend so much of our time with in person in their body form suddenly be in their spirit form. That's a huge change. So I think whatever brings us comfort, whatever brings us that close connection, let's practice that. And again, when you're standing there watching these altars being created and the stories being told, it is like meeting that person. There was one, I wanted to share the picture, but it's unfortunately too blurry, but down there in Guadalajara, there was this other altar. I walked into the little hospital room, and in I go, and I'm looking at this, and there's pictures of an older man, and there was a young guy there who explained that he had built it, and my Spanish was very bad, and he didn't speak a lot of English, so I was kind of learning about this man. He was telling me about this man. He said, this man was such a hard worker. Here's what he did for his living, and this is what represents what he did for his work, and he just loved his family. Here are pictures of him and his family, and he was such an honest man, such a good man, and here were symbols of his faith. He believed in God. He was such a God-fearing person, and I was just getting so excited to hear the story of this man, and I said, oh, who was he? And the young guy stopped, and his eyes kind of welled up. He said, he was my dad. Oh, I thought how beautiful that was, to share in that with that young man, to share who his father was, for me to get to feel him, for me to get to know him. And it is a feeling, isn't it? What's beautiful is when we look at this time of year, look at all the different religions that talk about death at this time of year. They say energetically it's a thinning of the veil, that the separation between the living and the dead isn't quite as thick. We know it's thin all the time. But look at how many, even like Catholic holidays right now, All Souls Day, All Saints Day, kind of implanted on top of what was practiced before. That those beliefs are still really there, and they're kind of calling us to remember, and to remember our connection. So how about we do that more in our practice? One time, people might say, well, why are we having this talk now, a little bit too early? Because Day of the Dead isn't quite here yet. One thing I would love us to do is to build an altar together on the last Sunday of this month, I encourage you to bring something. It could be a photo, a memento, anything that reminds you of, that celebrates your loved one, that tells their story, and we will build at the end of the Sunday service a Day of the Dead altar together. It will be beautiful. We also plan to have a box where you can bring a written message to your loved one, and we can put it there. And we'll have more information about all that during the announcements. But let's bring this into our practice. Let's talk about the immortality of life. Let's speak our loved ones' names. Let us talk to them. Let us open our hearts and to bring them into our daily life, here at home. And maybe not just one day a year, but all the time. Because we know the eternal nature of life. We know our eternal connection with each other. And so it is.
And so it is.
And join me in closing your eyes and opening your hearts. And let's just pray to take in this message. The comfort of remembering eternal life. Because as our very core of Science of Mind teaches us, everyone and everything is God, a power and a presence found everywhere, surging, beautiful, electric, alive, able to take any shape, any form, also being intelligence and love and illumination. That is who and what we are, and that is not destroyed. That does not go away. It's simply like water takes a new form, takes a new shape. So may we remember more clearly than ever before this morning that we are eternal spiritual beings, eternally connected with our beloveds, as they live in our hearts and our minds, and as they are here and as they are everywhere. May we going forward have a sweeter, warmer, more colorful relationship with the concept of death, knowing it to be a continuation of the life journey, a graduation, an evolution of our soul, forever and ever expanding in joyful and beautiful ways. I'm grateful for our time together this morning. May our spiritual practice be enriched by this message, and may we celebrate our connection with eternal life now and always. So it is.
So it is.
Thank you, beloveds.
Thank you, Reverend Darin. That's perfect. I'm creating a brand new life, living as a brand new me. Every day is a new beginning, another opportunity. Now I step out, living full on, one day at a time. Look out, world, here I come, it's a brand new life.
We're creating a brand new life, living as a brand new me. Every day is a new beginning, another opportunity. Now we step out, living full on, one day at a time. Look out, world, here we come, it's a brand new life. We're creating a brand new life, living as a brand new we. Now we step out, living full on, one day at a time. Look out, world, here we come. It's a brand new life. Look out, world, here we come. It's a brand new
That was gorgeous. I know we're not at karaoke and we can't take requests, but can we hear that again? When we hear the songs that really touch us, it's like, oh, let's bring that back and make those a new standard. It's gorgeous. And now it is our time of offering, where we get to share our gifts with the spiritual center, knowing that it lifts up not a building, but an idea, a fountain of truth, a safe space where people can come and be reminded of the beauty of life and the beauty of them. So let's take our offering, no matter how we share that, hold it to our hearts, and let's say, let us affirm and declare our affirmative giving blessing together. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to prosper, and to bless. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I joyously contribute to the vision of this center, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly, and so it is.
I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed, I am so blessed. I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed.
And thank you to everyone online watching. You can go to YCSL.com to give safely and securely. And as our blessing said, may we know that everything that comes from us returns to us multiplied abundantly. All that love that we give returns to us. All the kindness, all the peace, and all the balance that we share with our friends and our world returns to us multiplied abundantly. It's metaphysical math, and I love that. It blesses us tremendously. So thank you. And it's time for our announcements. We had some special music going on. What do we have going on? Announcements. It is Second Sunday lunch, and we are going to Du Bois Italian Cuisine in downtown. If you go to Du Bois in the foothills, you'll be lonely. Downtown. And we do this because it's such a wonderful time to bring us together, because the most beautiful aspect of our community is you. It's us being able to be together, to talk, to get to know each other, to enjoy the journey of life together. So after the service, we can head on down to Du Bois in downtown and have lunch for Second Sunday lunch. And appetizers Sunday will be next Sunday. So hopefully we have people on board. If you're interested in bringing food for that Sunday or for any time, talk to Michelle in back, who did a wonderful job with our apples and honey.
Yes.
Every year, thank you. Oh, and Rosella, thank you.
Yes.
And our board meeting is next Sunday, so everyone's welcome. Gets a appetizer, come to the meeting and have fun. And that's beautiful. And what else do we have? Ooh, our sound bath. Mark your calendars for October 24th at 7 p.m. Again, this place is going to be filled with music, flutes, singing bowls, and drums, and rattles, and gongs. It is a beautiful experience and a wonderful one to bring a friend who may be interested in the center. What a wonderful way to introduce them to Yuma Center for Spiritual Living, October 24th. And the Day of the Dead slide is a reminder of our chance to build that community altar. I hope that's something that speaks to you, to bring something that reminds you of our beloved, your beloved, or a photo, could be a food item. You could leave it here just for the service for a little while, or I think we'll keep the altar up for about a week, and we'll light it up the next Sunday too. We'll have candles and beautiful flowers. So think of what you would like to bring. If you have any questions, give me a call or to ask and to see what speaks to your heart, what could symbolize your beloved. And again, we'll have a little box for messages. I think that'll be beautiful. And for our Let's Go Together, this is a very busy month, and Let's Go Together is our series of official outings that we go to as a community, as a spiritual center, and we have a lot going on. We have, of course, Rocky Horror Picture Show happening at the Historic Theater. Who's going and could answer questions? Okay, look, if you're interested in going, see who has their hand up. They'll have the info on where to find tickets, and one of our members, Matt, is starring in it. So it'd be wonderful for us to go and cheer him on. We'll see him up on stage. And then also there is the Halloween-themed drag show coming up, also at the Historic Theater. I think, Patty, are you going? So if you have questions on where to get tickets, kind of the day and the time, get with Patty. And again, just like our lunch, this is a time for us to be together, to have fun on kind of an officially sanctioned outing, and to be out there in the community together. And it's a great time. And our Halloween party this year is going to be hosted by Petronella. Not at her home, but at another one of her homes. So you're going to have to ask for her address. If you show up at her house, it'll be dark and boring. It'll be somewhere else. So if you want to just ask somebody who you know knows, we just want to broadcast an address. But that'll, of course, be November 1st at 6 p.m. And then she's asking that you bring your own chair, that would really help. And we'll have more ideas and more announcements about what to bring for some potluck for food and what will be provided. But just for sure right now, we have a little bit of time. Mark your calendar for November 1st at 6 p.m. And that's it for our announcements. Thank you for everyone being here. Thank you for everyone watching online. Let us end our celebration in song by standing up, creating a circle, and affirming our peace song. Great circle. You ready? Get up.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as our power, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Repeat after me, please. Something wonderful is happening in my life right now.
Something wonderful is happening in my life right now.
I know it.
I know